You should close this video right now. It's why you feel lost in SMMA. I was making muffins the other day and I ended up burning them. Why? Well, it's because I didn't read the recipe. Halfway through I had to switch the ingredients because I didn't have everything that I needed. My mom was disappointed in me and now I'm not allowed to bake alone anymore. It's the exact same thing with your marketing agency. I was reading messages in a beginner Discord server and I looked at these guys the exact same way my mom saw me. These people should not be running a business alone. Not because they're dumb, not because they don't have money, but because being used as MK Ultra test subjects by me, by Dylan Wilson, by Joel, by Iman, by every other YouTuber that you're watching right now, because your precious skull is under attack. I'm hacking away at your day, stealing valuable time from you. But if you can follow these next instructions, I will be the last person that you ever allow to attack you and steal your time. Capiche? Perfect, let's move on. Finding direction in SMMA is very simple. The only reason you cannot is because you hold one particular false belief. False belief is something you perceive to be true when in reality it really isn't. This belief is about consuming information. Because I'll be honest with you here. You've been doing SMMA for a few months, watching YouTube, doing a little bit of outreach, doing a little bit of everything. And you haven't got your first client. The courses and the information is not the problem. You are. And I'm very serious about that. You can have the worst system in the world, but if you send 100 outreach messages per day for 1 year straight, you're going to be making well over 6 figures. And the reason why I can say that is because I know no one watching this video is going to do it. It's easier to keep looking for a new opportunity to go after like a moth to a light. You cling to it. That's because it's comfortable. It justifies your failures. It makes you feel okay because now it's not your fault. It's the system's. But the truth is that it is your fault and it always will be your fault. So right now I want you to take a look at yourself. Take a look at this black screen. Do you want to see success? Because if you don't, it's time for a change. Understand that every guru system out there works and it will get you clients, but we keep manipulating you with eye-catching thumbnails and titles, the edits, everything, all to serve you some BS that won't really help you at all. So if you're still with me here and you want to change that, here's the plan. So here's step one of the plan. We're going to set a long-term desired result. No, you don't want to make 10K with your agency. Let's say you want to start a clothing brand, or you have a really good idea that you want to turn into a SaaS, but you need money in order to do that. Having a 10K a month agency for whatever reason is pretty superficial. It's going to allow you to get demotivated really easily. Because if you're doing outreach just to get appointments, and one day you don't get appointments, you're going to see yourself as a failure, right? Because you are in that sense. Whereas if you have a long-term goal, such as seeing success with your clothing brand, one day of bad outreach really won't hinder you as much as it would if you have your whole time just focused on getting to 10 grand a month. So that is the first thing you want to have. If you do not have a goal in mind, stop here because a bad day will not hurt you and it will not sting as much if you do not have it. The next step is going to be strategy. So I want you to write down your first agency goal. For a lot of you, it's your first client. In order to achieve that, you need to actually only do one thing, right? You need to have a niche, obviously, but it's just outreach past that. So where can I do outreach? I can do it on Facebook and Instagram. How many outreaches do I need to do? Well, I need to do 100 per day. Make sure you're confident in your answers and go down the reason of why, and just keep asking yourself further and further to figure out every little nuance of this goal. Because once you have it and once you're confident in your answers, you're not going back. Because the next step is to unplug from the matrix. So unsub from me, Iman, every other YouTuber that you're watching right now. You don't need to hear our blabbering anymore because you already have a plan. Listening is not productive because executing is, right? It would be better to watch Fortnite videos than to watch this video right now because even though they also fry your brain, at least it's not frying your business and making you jump from new opportunity to new opportunity at the exact same time. And once you've done that, the next step is to close this video. You're done. That's it. Because you're so much smarter than you actually give yourself credit for. And that's not because you are special, right? Nobody is. But it's just because you never let yourself think. Instead, you just listen to other people, like you're listening to my voice right now. It's pretty funny, right? But remember, this is going to be the last video you watch. Because even though I have been brief, it was all the truth. It was the full truth. If you made it this far and still want to return back to your old ways, understand who you're hurting. Because it's not me, it's not anybody else, it's just you. You're only sabotaging yourself. And it might be because you feel failure, but that's okay. Because I'm scared of failure too. I'm scared of all my projects failing. I'm scared of not helping people. I'm scared of so many things. But instead of popping a, I'm not scared thing or running away to try and overcome this fear, what I do is I try and have courage, right? The courage to, even if you're uncertain, even if you're scared of what might happen, go forward still. Because you owe it to yourself. But more importantly, you owe it to me. You're welcome. I just changed your life. On a different note though, I would like to be really serious just to break down that all that is really what you need in order to see success. Past the glitz and the glamours, the cold email headline, all the strategies, it's really about you as a person, right? It's not the system that makes someone see success, it is the person itself. If I were to be put in the position of someone who didn't have their first client, because I've gotten my first client before, without any clue as to what system I'd be using, I could get that first client using LinkedIn, cold email, Instagram, Facebook, whatever it might be. And I proved that pretty recently when I helped out Wyatt. Right? He got his first client so quickly because I was working with him, putting it together, and no matter what strategy we used, we were still able to see success. And that's because it's about the person. It's not necessarily about the strategy, but it's through becoming better as a person that allows us to actually see results when we go into these types of endeavors. And the reason why that's very important is because knowing that it's not about the information you have, it's not about the course, it's about you. And the only way to improve you is through getting more and more experience. And the only way to get more experience is through doing more doing. It's kind of like playing golf. The only way to get better at golf is, not by watching videos on how to play golf or researching a new strategy. It's by picking up the putt and swinging it, right? Same thing with any other sport. You just get better by playing, doing over and over again. It's the exact same thing with your agency, with your outreach, with your sales, with your service delivery. You actually just have to do. And if you keep doing over and over and over again, you're going to get to a point where it becomes easy. Do it in the past, in the hindsight, right? In the past, it may seem easy, but the new project you're working for is always going to be the hardest thing you're going after. And that's the beauty of it, right? Because you're going to keep climbing the ladder up and up and up and up. And yes, the challenges are going to get harder, but you are also going to get stronger. And in the past, everything that you have conquered now is going to seem easy in comparison to what you're actually dealing with now. So I know this was a little bit of a ramble, but if you can just take the gold out of this, take the meat and just spit out all the bones of all the stutters, everything that I've said in this video, what you're going to be left with is a recipe to actually see success. And it's a recipe that doesn't rely on anyone else, and a recipe that you already have in your head. You already know it. You already know what to do. You already know how to see success. And I know the reason why you haven't executed on it up until now is because it's scary, right? It's scary to know that you have the answers and to know that everything you actually need to do is already in your brain. It's scary to go forward with it. But biggest thing you have to have is that courage, because if you have that courage, you can change your life. And once you change your life, you'll be so thankful for the you that, even though in the face of fear, in the face of adversity, in the face of uncertainty, was able to actually move forward. You're going to be so thankful for that person because they are great. Oh, and one last thing. When you do follow the instructions properly, you get a muffin just like this.